have looked into my eyes. You have seen what I am, but still you're by my side, telling me I can't. And there are times I've caused you pain, and times I made mistakes. Somehow you use them all to make the eye you made. Oh, every good thing I have done, everything that I've become, everything.
Welcome to All About Us Teen Talk TV. And I'm really excited today to introduce our guest, Eric Hamilton. He is the creator of TinyStick. Before we get started, I want to remind you that you can get your All About Us Teen Talk TV magazines at www.aaum.com. Welcome, Eric.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So today we're here to talk about TinyStick, which is your creation. So tell us about what is TinyStick.
Yeah, so TinyStick is a USB-sized, cigarette lighter size device that basically turns your smartphone into a desktop computer. So I have a prototype of it right here. So what this will do is you can take this device and actually plug this into any monitor, flat screen TV, and run an app on your smartphone.
Wait, I have a question. When you
Certainly.
say plug it into your TV, what exactly do you mean?
So right now we have two monitors right here, right, that are actually running the TinyStick app, and we have a monitor up high. I'm not sure if our viewers can see it, and then one down near our feet. And you plug it right into the HDMI port, right? So when I say plug it in, meaning very similar to how you plug in your cable, right? So what you want to do is plug this device right into the HDMI port of your monitor, just as you would your cable.
Okay. So why is the TinyStick something that, I would need or anyone would need? Having a smartphone, having a laptop, having a tablet?
Yeah, so here's the thing. You're dealing with 2 gigahertz in your pocket, right? So your 2 gigahertz processor that your phone is capable of doing is about 10 times as fast and as powerful as the computers that you used a few years ago to get on the internet. So you got this 2 gigahertz processor computer in your pocket, and you've also got this heavy laptop that you're lugging around, and you also have a heavy desktop computer at home. So what that does, the TinyStick, in essence, combines all three of them into one. As you know, that your phone is everything now. It's your address. Well, not only is it your phone, it's your address book, it's your video camera, it's a telephone, it is your scheduler, calendar. It's used for dieting, losing weight, tracking your miles. You can do about everything with it, except for the thing that it's probably most capable of, and that is becoming a computer. And that's what the TinyStick does. It really unlocks and unleashes the power of your phone to act as a desktop computer.
So I love convenience, and you mentioned that it's pretty much like having everything in one. So can you talk more about the person that's really looking to either downsize? They're tired of having the laptop and the tablet and the smartphone, and they would really just rather work off of one.
So that there's so many different use cases, right? So we can talk about all of them, right? So one being the busy professional. That's number one. College students is another. Any type of student, work from home professionals, stay-at-home moms. So let's talk about the college student for starters. So if I'm a college student, a lot of students will use their phone, or use their laptop computer to take notes in class. Imagine using a wireless keyboard and your phone to take notes, but not having to worry about lugging a heavy laptop with you, right? And then imagine them coming back to the dorm, but them wanting to see their information on a bigger screen. Let's say, for instance, they're in a finance class and they want to copy and paste some information into an Excel spreadsheet, or maybe write a Word document, or maybe create a PowerPoint presentation for that class. They don't have to have that heavy weight, meaning carrying that heavy laptop to class and lugging it back to the dorm room. They carry this device, take the notes in class with a wireless keyboard, come back to the dormitory, plug this into the big monitor in the dorm room, and now they have a big screen able to do what they need to do. That's just one use case.
Well, I mean, it sounds like it would be great for commuters also, you know,
definitely.
carrying your gym bag and then your work bag and then having your laptop also is just, you know, cumbersome at times.
Sure, sure.
So just having that instead is what you're saying, that we could also have access and have a full computer experience.
Absolutely, that's spot on. So you imagine that in any scenario, any particular scenario in which, you know, computing is something that the person is looking to do, this would be applicable. Definitely, definitely.
So I'm thinking about business professionals and how it could just make their life a little bit easier, and thinking about doing presentations and spreadsheets. Would I be able to use TinyStick for that?
Yeah, absolutely. For presentations, spreadsheets. In fact, I don't know if your viewers, if our viewers would like to see, but maybe if it's appropriate, maybe we can show them exactly what we mean. So,
I would love to see.
So what I have here is the TinyStick, which we took earlier, and we plugged into. We have a TinyStick in the lower monitor here. I'm not sure if you guys can see the lower monitor here. We have one TinyStick plugged into the upper monitor. This big monitor, my phone, if you guys can see it here, I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but it is actually connected to this big screen. So anything that I do on this big screen, or on my small screen, is going to be reflected on this big screen here. I've attached a wireless keyboard, a Bluetooth keyboard, to this phone also. So for instance, if I was looking to do some spreadsheet type of stuff, I can click on this spreadsheet here. And actually, I'm sorry, I'm the small screen. I take that back. I thought this was going to the big screen. It's going to the small screen. And here I can actually can manipulate the spreadsheet and things like that. In fact, let's do it on the
So now
big
you're
screen.
going to use the keyboard to actually do the typing and the
Absolutely.
entering of content.
Absolutely. So I would
Okay.
use the keyboard. The mouse would be me using my finger as the mouse on the screen, but then I would use the keyboard to type in everything that I'm looking to type in. So let's do it on the big screen, actually. This is synced with the phone. I won't bother to resync it, but so you guys can see it a little bit better. So I have a tablet here. So that this is compatible with all Android, well, not all Android, about 647 Android smartphones and tablets. So for here is, let's go ahead and,
So basically, you have the same exact screen on your tablet right now that's showing up on the TV.
correct. It's the exact same information. And
Now, this menu, where did that come from?
so that's our software that are kind of our differentiating factor. And that is the drop-down menu software that gives you that Windows-like functionality. So I didn't install the latest and greatest. So what we have here is, you imagine that I'm that professional, and I'm at home, I'm at work. Office Suite 7 is one of thousands of different apps that you can download and potentially use on your smartphone or tablet, which is compatible with TinyStick. And if I were to want to do some spreadsheet activities, unfortunately, the keyboard is actually connected to the phone, so forgive me for not having that connected, going to the right place. But then you imagine I would use my keyboard to type in and do my spreadsheet activities and things of that sort.
I mean, this is great for giving presentations on the go, that you would just have the access this way. So I just want to make sure that the viewers understand and that I understand. So the TinyStick is that device. You plug it into the HDMI port on the side of the TV,
Yes.
and then you download the app.
Yes.
So you have to have both of those. And I just think the app is really cool because it gives you that real PC experience, right? Like
Absolutely.
you have the Windows like drop-down menu. So
Absolutely.
you feel like you're using your computer, but
Absolutely.
you have all of the access to all of the apps on your smartphone.
You do, and you got it spot on. You have access to all the apps that you would use on your smartphone. So for instance, if you notice this drop-down menu, here are all the apps that I have on my phone, all several hundred, well, not several hundred, but I probably have maybe a 100 or so. I'm not sure how many apps I have. And they're accessible. All those apps are accessible, and you can use them using the TinyStick. So everything that you would normally use on your phone will work through the TinyStick piece of hardware. And again, and then the drop-down menu allows you to access and give that PC-like functionality. And of course, the background is that PowerPoint presentation-like software that I can create spreadsheets, or it's not press spreadsheets, but create presentations and things like that.
Now, what about for someone who's not really tech savvy,
Sure.
but they just like convenience? They don't want to have, a whole lot of different devices. Do you think the Tiny Stick is good for them?
Absolutely. You think about it. You think about, just 10, 15 years ago, we had a camera, right? Maybe multiple cameras. We had a camcorders, right? You had a watch, right? A pager. If you were into sports, you had a stopwatch, right? You had something that maybe you could measure your pulse, right? You had all these different things that you carried around, right? And this is almost like the final frontier for that. So to answer your question, yes, it is someone who maybe is not so tech savvy, but someone looking to, downsize on all these devices that they carry around. And yeah, it'd be perfect for that type of person as well. Absolutely.
So tell us, how much does the Tiny Stick cost?
So it costs, it's only $99. And it's available, we have it available via our crowdfunding campaign, which is doing quite well, by the way. If they go to tinystick.com, T-I-N-Y, so a tiny stick, so TINYSTIC.com, they can participate in the crowdfunding and actually get an advanced order of one of these. So it's $99, and with a Bluetooth keyboard, it's $149. And again, with that, you're eliminating that heavy laptop, and it turns your smartphone into a desktop computer.
That price is significantly lower than getting a laptop. I could imagine that this could really help, people that may not have it in their budget to get a laptop, or have a laptop for all of their kids. If they have, more than one kid, you may need more than one laptop in the house, and it seems like the Tiny Stick could be a really good economic solution.
Absolutely, especially when you think about, families. Everybody has their own phone. I know back in the 1970s when I was growing up and we had the little rotary phone, we had one phone for all four of us, right? 2 adults and 2 kids, one phone. Now the scenario in every household, no matter the economic income, if you got 4 people in the family, 4 young adults and 4 adults, there's going to be 4 phones, right? And you imagine if they're kids, they're probably going to get a smartphone, right? So now you've got 4 2 gigahertz processors, right? 4 computers in that house, right? So yeah, it makes economic sense also to spend that little amount that you would normally spend for 1 month of cable, and you've got a computer, right? And so yeah, that's pretty much how it works.
I'm thinking about going on vacation and already having a lot of luggage, but still wanting to be a little bit connected and plugged in. So you mentioned that you plug the Tiny Stick into the HDMI port, which is on the side of the TV. So is that something that you only find on certain TVs, or would you be able to find that pretty much anywhere, like in a hotel if you were traveling?
Any hotel nowadays will have those flat screen TVs that are, if it's flat, it's going to be an HDMI compatible, an HDMI port on that TV. Imagine those old school TVs from back in the day. No, those are VGA or analog signals, I believe. I'm not a TV expert. But if you're on vacation and you go to any modern hotel, you'll have one of these in the room, and you can plug a Tiny Stick in and it would work fine. Absolutely.
So what about mobile entrepreneurs? How does Tiny Stick benefit them?
Yeah, so you imagine the mobile entrepreneur, right? The same benefits, right? Meaning, instead of carrying around a lot of, heavy laptop, going to business meetings, traveling around the city, even getting in and out of the car, it just makes it more of an efficient type of thing. So yeah.
Great. Well, we're going to have a commercial, and we'll be right back with Eric Hamilton, the creator of Tiny Stick.
Hi, my name is Dr. Tom Dow. We have a multidisciplinary practice in Melville and Ronkonkoma, New York, and we treat patients with many, many different conditions, from newborns through geriatric patients with numerous different techniques. There's a technique and a type of treatment for every class of patient. We have them all here. Here's my son Thomas, also a doctor of chiropractic, working on one of our patients' cervical spine. This patient has had chronic neck pain for many, many, many years, has been to a multitude of different practitioners with little or no response. And with our specialized techniques, she has improved tremendously and continues to improve on a daily basis. We have two practices, one in Melville and one in Ronkonkoma, New York. We are a multidiscipline chiropractic office. What that means is we have chiropractors, massage therapists, acupuncturists, psychologists, all working as a team and a network of outside professionals such as orthopedists and neurologists that we work hand in hand with to help determine what your injuries are and the best way to treat your injuries. I have the great pleasure of having my son in practice with me. We work hand in hand, father and son, to give our patients the best care possible, and a staff which is loving, caring, and you'll never have to wait at all in our office for service. Many times patients come into our office and they have what's called a soft tissue injury. Soft tissue injuries are like scars inside your body. If you've ever been cut on the outside of your body, you get a scar. The same thing happens inside of your body to your muscles and ligaments. So our job is to determine where those are, stretch the muscles, adjust the vertebra back into their correct position, and then refortify the normal structure with exercise. That's what we do best, and I hope someday you'll come see us at one of our two offices. Thank you.
Technical Worldwide Tattoo Supply is one of the largest suppliers in the world and your number one resource for top quality, affordable tattoo and piercing supplies. Technical Worldwide Tattoo Supply is the number one supplier of tattoo inks in the world with more than 200 products including Mom's Ink, Philadelphia Eddie's Traditional Inks, Paolini Sacred Color Inks, and more. Technical Worldwide Tattoo Supply, your one-stop shopping destination for great service, best prices, and top quality supplies. Coney Island Carlos vintage wines and premium spirits are undeniably distinctive. Selected for their unique, memorable flavor, Coney Island Carlos vintage wines and premium spirits are delivered to you in beautifully designed bottles featuring limited edition artwork. Coney Island Carlos vintage wines and premium spirits are available at affordable prices in fine restaurants, bars, and liquor stores. Or check www.coneyislandcarlo.com for availability.
Welcome back to All About Us, Teen Talk TV. I'm so happy to have Eric Hamilton, the creator of TinyStick, with us today, and we are having our technology segment. So we've talked a little bit about how TinyStick can help the business professional, how it can help college students. So something I was really thinking about, if TinyStick gives us access to all of the apps on our smartphone and we can have a desktop computer experience on a large screen TV, that means if we have like a Netflix app or if we have movies on our smartphone, we can also access them. Is that right? Am I accurate?
That's 100% accurate and 100% correct. As you see, we're watching Avatar, and that actually is coming right from my phone, right onto the big screen, right? So yeah, that's exactly how it works. So you imagine that if you're using Hulu, Netflix, or any other movie app, or any type of streaming, say ESPN or any of those other types of apps, those work fine with the TinyStick, absolutely.
So something I've heard about, it's called Chromecast.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I'm not really sure about the differences or the similarities, but if someone was interested in getting a Chromecast instead of a Tiny Stick, what would you tell them?
Well, first of all, I love Chromecast, right? And they do, and that's my phone ringing. So you'll see that, let's end that. So you see that it will interrupt our movie, but hopefully it'll come right back in. So let's, oh, it paused it, so let's hit start again. So wow, and that wasn't even planned, right? So you'll see that my phone just rang. For those who out there who didn't see that, my phone rang. I could have answered it. Tiny Stick allowed the movie to pause the movie, and I could have answered the phone if I wanted to, but instead I'm on live TV, so I decided not to answer that call, right? Get back to watching our movie. So your question was about Chromecast. So Chromecast is a very cool tool, very similar to the Tiny Stick, but one thing that Chromecast won't do is it will not turn your smartphone into a desktop computer. So you can use things like, with Chromecast, you can use Netflix, HBO Go, Hulu, and you can on the Tiny Stick. The primary difference is Chromecast works great with about a dozen or so apps. But what if you have an up-and-coming, for instance, there's a company out of South Africa. I forget the name of them, but they are creating live streaming cinema for the South African market. And it's not compatible with Chromecast, but it is with Tiny Stick, because if it runs on your phone, it'll run with our thing. That's number one. So Chromecast works great with the big players, and so do we. But if a smaller app were to come out for a smaller market with a niche play, Chromecast out of the box won't work. The second thing is Chromecast will not turn your smartphone into a desktop computer. So the things that we were doing earlier with PowerPoint presentation, spreadsheet, word processing, you can't do that on Chromecast, but you can on ours. So Chromecast is great for having it this one device at the house plugged into your TV, which is an entertainment center, but ours is that plus a lot more. So no hate on Chromecast. I think it's a great device, but ours does about 3 times what Chromecast will do.
So not as limited to the apps that you would have access to
Correct.
using Chromecast. So I'm thinking about family movie night and just being at home with the family. Gone are the days of having to get DVDs. We can basically just watch movies and even watch our favorite shows, right?
Absolutely.
Using the Tiny Stick.
Yeah, we can watch your favorite shows. You could, pretty much anything on demand. So for instance, this Avatar movie, I bought that right on Google, right? Purchased the movie, just right before we got here, in fact, and bam, we're streaming it in. Everything is great, right? So, so long short of it is absolutely, it's perfect for all those different types of scenarios. Absolutely.
Great. So you mentioned Hulu and Netflix. So are there any limitations to the Tiny Stick in terms of what we can watch?
Actually, there is not. If it displays on your phone, then you can watch it with the Tiny Stick. The thing is with thinking about some of those other types of solutions like Chromecast, another one is Roku, and another one is Apple TV to do very similar things. The thing is with, at least for Roku and for Chromecast, is there's certain things that will play on your phone, but you can't cast it to a big screen. Again, for instance, those smaller apps which are not compatible with Chromecast. So that's kind of how it works.
So I'm watching Avatar right now, and there's no stopping, or the movie is just running seamlessly.
Sure.
So is that what the user can expect when they have a Tiny Stick?
Yeah, pretty much. It's a pretty I can't remember the exact specs on the throughput as far as the bandwidth, some technical nerdy talk, but it actually works out pretty well, right? It's live streaming. See, we haven't been interrupted. The only time we were interrupted was when my homeboys tried to call me, right? And I'm like, you didn't know I was in an interview, right? But it is, the experience will be very similar, right? You can just plug the Tiny Stick in, sync it up like we did earlier, and now you're running, 1080 movies from your smartphone onto the big screen, right?
So no buffering, like old school buffering that used to happen back in the day when you were trying to stream video. That's not going to happen with the Tiny Stick.
It's not going to happen from the phone to the big screen. There's no buffering going on at all. But from your source to your phone, there may be some buffering. So there may be some people who actually will purchase a Tiny Stick, And those people may say, hey, you know, I saw you guys on TV a month earlier. You said there was no buffering. Well, the buffering is going to be, there's going to be some buffering potentially from the source, whether it be YouTube, whether it be Netflix, to your phone. But once it's, you know, from the phone to the big screen, there virtually is no buffering. You might have a little bit, but as you see, I mean, we're running 1080 and it's a lot of megapixels going on here as far as Avatar. We picked probably the most cinematic movie to show the clarity, the quality. We've got the sound turned down, but it's actually streaming audio and video from here to there. We turn the volume down so that we wouldn't be disturbed. But yeah, definitely, that's pretty much how it works.
So you mentioned streaming audio and video. I love music. So how would I be able to use TinyStick?
So yeah, so for those music enthusiasts, any app that you would use for music, so if you're a Spotify or Pandora, and another thing what's interesting is, so that will stream right to your television that you can play. So if you have speakers, that would be a good look there. Also, what's interesting, not to hate on Chromecast, but Chromecast works great with Pandora. I've used it for Pandora. But Spotify, it doesn't work for, right? So a lot of these smaller music players, not that Spotify is small, they're actually pretty big, but it is not compatible with Spotify. But it is with ours. So I use it for Spotify all the time. And so yes, so for any music app that you have on your phone, you can use the TinyStick to play it to your speakers and to your speakers connected to your television.
So this would be fantastic with a home theater system. You pretty much can have a party, have your TinyStick, show a movie, and play music, especially if you have the speakers hooked up to it. Absolutely.
Great for home parties. Great for if you had some access to music videos. Let's say if you were on Vimeo or on YouTube and you were to have some videos, you know, playing that in the background, TinyStick will work great for that as well. Absolutely.
You know, I'm thinking this is just such a great gift for a college student. You know, you're giving them something that they can use to help them with their coursework, that they can use also for entertainment, and it's super small and it's so cost effective.
It really is a great gift, right? Great. Imagine if I wish they had these fall of 1987. Your boy's getting old. When I started college, but unfortunately they did not. But imagine giving one of these to a college student, you know, on the go, constantly, you know, going from dorm to dorm as far as, you know, visiting friends, going to class, to and from class. If they're involved in these type of extracurricular activities, you know, whether it be student body or student government, going back home. You know, certain people will want to go home every weekend. You know, bringing heavy loads of laundry or things. If they have a TinyStick, they don't have to worry about at least eliminating part of the payload, right? And it's the same paradigm. And we're talking about the same thing as far as how people don't carry digital cameras anymore, camcorders, right? Things like that. You know, phone book. You know, we used to have a little black book, right? Back in the day, you know, we're trying to be, you know, back in college, trying to be a player to get all the numbers in the book. People keep numbers in the phone nowadays. You don't carry a book anymore or a Franklin planner. So we're systematically eliminating all the things that we used to carry with us. And the last thing, I think the final frontier is eliminating the laptop. So yeah, it plays into that narrative of being a great gift for a college student, especially a college student on the go, definitely.
So can you talk a little bit more? I know you mentioned that, you know, it would be great for music, and I'm thinking with a home theater system, this could really eliminate the need for any other kind of entertainment system.
Yeah, absolutely. So you think about the evolution of music over the last, say, 20 years, right? You know, you think about, you know, back in our day, you know, back in my parents' day, they had the 8-track cassette tapes. Then it went to cassette tapes. Then it went to, you know, kind of like albums. All that was around the same time period, the vinyl albums. Then going to what we thought was revolutionary were CDs, because you could have, you know, 17 songs on this little bitty thing called a CD. And then we went to digital music, right? Remember the iPod, and then the whole when people were kind of borrowing, if you want to call it, music and music downloads and things like that. So taking it a step further, here it is 2014. Yeah, this would totally revolutionize your whole entertainment system, because you have your iPod and this music playing devices that you can potentially plug into speakers and whatnot. but this is actually even better, right? Because we as humans are visual creatures, right? You might want to have the ability to show video with your audio, and this works well with that. Plugging this into an entertainment center, streaming in live music videos, or streaming in music videos. So it definitely is a game changer for the entertainment center as well.
We'll be back on All About Us Teen Talk TV.
My name is Dr. Robert Brevard. I'm here for Multi-Medicine in Westbury, New York. We're located at 1065 Old Country Road, Suite 214. Been here for about 15 years. The practice has medical doctors, physical therapists, chiropractors, acupuncturists. We also do pain management, and we have orthopedists on staff. Here at Advanced Multi-Medicine Rehabilitation, we've got physical therapists on staff who treat an array of conditions, from neck pain to back pain, shoulder pain. We treat carpal tunnel. We treat a lot of car accident patients, slip and falls. We treat patients with knee injuries, with ankle injuries. We have state-of-the-art equipment. We've been here for over 15 years. Vast array of diagnostic testing, from x-rays to EMGs. What is an EMG? It's a diagnostic test that allows a doctor to determine where the pinched nerve is. Cora is a physical therapist at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. She's working on Stephanie, who was involved recently in an automobile accident. Stephanie has tight thoracic and cervical musculature, and Cora is doing some myofascial release work and some therapeutic stretching to help her with her pain. Vicky is also a patient here at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. Vicky is now working her leg muscles, specifically her quadricep muscles, trying to strengthen them after an injury she sustained. If you find yourself in need of any type of physical therapy, please don't hesitate to call Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation, located in Westbury, New York, in Suite 214. Phone number is 516-334-7000, or find us on our website at advancedmultimedicine.com.
Welcome back to All About Us Teen Talk TV. I have Eric Hamilton, the creator of TinyStick. He's been talking to us about what a revolutionary device it is. It will totally transform the way that you compute. So far we've talked about office automation, how users can really use it to make their just their life easier at work, the college student, the high school student, the professional, when it comes to doing spreadsheets and presentations. We've talked a bit about watching movies and entertainment. So what about for serious gamers who, that's why they have their computer. They spend most of the time on their computer playing games. Is the TinyStick something that would be useful for them?
Absolutely. So for those gaming enthusiasts who are watching here, you'll see that we're playing Grand Theft Auto 3, right? So what the beautiful thing that TinyStick can provide is, you imagine that any game that runs on your phone, we can play it on a big screen. So same 1080 resolution, and so definitely for the gamer, this is definitely a viable option.
So pretty much any game app that you have on your smartphone, you can play. So you have the app of Grand Theft Auto. So I'm just doing a little bit of an equation in my head. So how much did the app cost for Grand Theft Auto?
So Grand Theft Auto, right, this app was about $7. It's about a $7 download, right?
So versus the actual cost of the game, that is a significant saving.
Yeah, you imagine the game itself is probably about $80, and the game on the smartphone is about $7. But the beautiful thing about this also is it really is the same code base. So for you nerds out there, you know exactly what I mean. So meaning the makers of Grand Theft Auto made an $80 version of this game, which runs on an Xbox. They can charge $80 for it because that's the norm. People pay between $50 and $100 for games. That's the norm. Nobody's going to pay $50 or $100 for a game that runs on your phone. They can't charge that, but they have the code base already written. So they do something called porting it. They port it to Android devices and other phones so that it can be played. So they'll make a little bit of marginal income. They won't make the multi-millions that they make from having this on, say, an Xbox charging $80, but it is some income. So that's why they do it. And they only charge about $7. So with that, it's really the same game in essence, almost, right? The same game, but actually running on the smartphone.
So the app, the $7 app, and the $70 or so, give or take, game are the same exact functioning in
For the most part. I mean, I can't guarantee it, but you see this is the cinematics before you start Grand Theft Auto. It's very similar to what you'll see for the Xbox version. Again, this is running directly from my phone, right? No wires, no gimmicks, right? Running right from my phone, and you'll see that it is my phone because we have the drop-down menu like we had before. All that stuff is in play, but it is very similar to the version that you would be spending $80 for.
So how does this affect the battery power on the phone? I'm just wondering, does it, wear it down more?
Yeah, a little bit more, right? So you imagine any function that you use on your phone is going to cause your battery life to go down. If I turn up my screen brightness a little bit higher, that's going to zap your battery a little bit more. If I have a Bluetooth device going and needs to communicate wirelessly from here to my keyboard, that's going to cause a little bit of power. If I have Wi-Fi turned on, that's going to hit the battery life. If I have multiple apps running simultaneously, that's going to do it. So in addition to that, if I have got the display, if I'm broadcasting my display to this monitor, to the Tiny Stick, which is connected to the monitor, that and also is going to cause a little bit of a more of a battery drain. So for anything that you run, any additional app, any additional service, any additional function that you run on your phone, it's going to cause a little bit more battery life to be used.
Again, I'm really thinking about the portability. I think that's been like a common thread throughout all of the different, use cases that we've spoken about. This is incredibly portable when you think about actually lugging like an actual gaming console with you, and you can just take your Tiny Stick with you.
Absolutely. So imagine, I was just on vacation just recently, actually in Myrtle Beach, and had a condo with the family. It was a great time. And what we did was, we back in 1982, my mother would have packed up the Atari 2600 and all of our little cartridges, those games, like we had like hundreds of them, it seemed. She'd pack up 10 cartridges. That would be a suitcase in and of itself. The gaming system, the joysticks, and the cartridges all together would be packed up, and that would be our vacation. So here it is 2014, and here we are in the hotel with my brother and my dad, and we're playing Angry Birds, we're playing Grand Theft Auto, we're playing all these other games, and the other hundreds of games that are accessible to me, we are able to play right there from the hotel room. So we didn't need a gaming system. We didn't need to have to pack a big suitcase full of games. We had everything on our phone, and it actually worked out great. So it was great for even me being in my 40s as a gamer, it worked out great for me as well.
And I mean, if you could tell the users, why do they, we've talked about the games and the music and the movies and using it for Microsoft Office. Can you just really explain why this is really, it is sort of like a catch-all solution for everyone, not just for the teens who are watching, for their parents, for their teachers? Why is Tiny Stick something that everyone really needs? It
really is. Tiny Stick is really is an extension of the shift in which we as a society is going. That it's the next step in that evolution, right? Meaning, as I said earlier, our telephones were just a phone back, 30, 40 years ago when I was a kid in the 1970s. It was a rotary phone, right? And now it can do so many other things, right? If one were to say back in 1980, you would use your phone to be your video camera, your address book, your phone, plus all these other things, you'd probably say that person was crazy. So this is just the next step in that whole evolution of computing. And it's just allowing us to just unleash the power of our phones and what it can do. So it really is destined to be a game changer, we hope.
You know, I'm not a big gamer, but I do like the classic games like Pac-Man and the old Atari, and even, you know, the Super Mario Brothers games. So is that something that I could use the Tiny Stick for?
Absolutely. So, you know, while we talk, I see if I can go grab that real quick, because I'm sure there's an app for that. So the answer is yes. So if it can run on your phone, now I'm curious now. Let's see if we can do that. If it can run on your phone, then the answer is yes. So all those games that you liked as a kid, we should be able to find them in the App Store and be able to run them. So I'm going to try that right now while we talk. But yes, so that is something that's very possible. Absolutely.
You know, when I think about, you know, just people that just like gadgets, they're always in Best Buy looking for the new tech gadget that's coming out. You know, this is something that you just don't want to pass up. Listening to you now, I have such a better understanding of what Tiny Stick is and how really it's helpful in so many different areas of my life, not just, you know, I love music and I can now just hook it up to my TV and can blast my music through my home theater system because my home theater speakers are hooked up to the TV, but I can also use it to help me with work. And it just seems like it's not a new gadget that's just going to come and go. This is something that really provides solutions that will really just help make my life a bit easier.
It is. Just like any new technology, you know, every new piece of technology is really geared towards making our lives easier, right? Whether it be, you know, making something smaller, whether it's making something faster, it's always addressing some pain point, and Tiny Stick is no exception. Meaning, it's addressing what we believe is a pain point, and but definitely. And I think I've got your Pac-Man. I think we found it, and I just downloaded it just that quickly.
So if I get the Tiny Stick, all I have to do is find the app, download the app, and now I can have a gaming experience on my TV.
That is correct. And tap to start. So we're going to play a classic. Let's see. Okay, that's an ad. Let's get rid of that. And play. And boom, there you go. So let's go free play. And there you go. That's the old classic.
I mean, and that's official. That's exactly what the board looks like.
Yeah. So let me go there. You know, and that's me playing. I'm just doing my thing now. And I wasn't good in 1980, and I'm not too good now in 2014. So that's it. So just as quickly as you talked about it, that's something we didn't plan. I went and I found the app. I downloaded it, the Pac-Man app, and I came out confident that it would work, and it works well. So, boom. There you have it.
And for the traveler, this is, you know, just it's incredibly convenient. You know, you're going to have everything that you need. So, Eric, we're going to take another break, and we'll be back.
Are you planning an event and want to include entertainment, but you're not sure where to turn?
Act1Entertainment.net has provided over 1,500 events with quality, affordable live entertainment at private parties, corporate affairs, festivals, bike rallies, and more. Act 1 will fit into your budget. They're friendly, reliable, and do all the legwork for you. They take all major credit cards. Log on to Act1Entertainment.net for a free, no-obligation price quote, or call 631-758-3505 for a brochure.
You'll be happy you did.
For professional motorcycle transport and towing, think Kickstart Fabrications Motorcycle Towing. Proudly serving all of Long Island, we feature expert handling and 24/7 service. So send a limo for your toy with Kickstart Fabrications Motorcycle Towing.
Welcome to Formula Auto Wash, where every day is a great day for a car wash. Open 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Sundays 8 a.m. till 4 p.m. Detailing packages for every budget, starting out at $29.99. 100% hand wash and detail centre. Horsehair and microfiber brushes and mitts. Proudly using Ecolab Blue Coral soaps and waxes. Formula Auto Wash has served the community for over 30 years. Senior discounts all day, every day. Ladies' Day Wednesday, $3 off any wash. Early bird discount Monday through Thursday till 9:30 a.m. Check out our website, formulaautowash.com.
Hi, welcome back to All About Us, Teen Talk TV. We're here with the founder and the creator of TinyStick. And Eric, you've told us so much about how TinyStick really provides so many solutions for today's busy professional, student, and just everyone in between. So where can we find TinyStick? How do we go about getting one?
Yeah, so you can find TinyStick. We've got a crowdfunding campaign going on, but if folks go to our website, which is tinystick.com, TinyStic.com, they can find more information about us and where to support this product. In fact, on the screen here, I've got, with using the TinyStick, I'm connected to our Indiegogo campaign, which is doing quite well. We set a goal to raise, just as a proof of concept, $5,000. We wanted to sell $5,000 worth of TinySticks, and we're a little over $16,000 worth of TinySticks, and people are loving it. So thank you, those out there who purchased it, and you're going to be definitely pleased with the product. You can go to tinystick.com to find out more about this, and you can purchase it here.
So I just want to reiterate. So anyone watching can go to www.tinystick.com. So leave off the K. So Eric, you mentioned something about proof of concept, and you've talked so much about TinyStick. For someone who's just joining us now, can you tell them why they need it and why it's something that will really make their life a lot easier?
Yeah, so it's really a game-changing solution, right? It's just the next evolution in computing. The way we've computed, the way we've used laptops and desktop computers really hasn't changed in the last 25 plus years. This is the next evolution. The way we use digital cameras, the way we use cameras has changed from the days of film to the days of digital. The way we've used camcorders, and I remember having my first family reunion and having a reel-to-reel camera with the old little crusty reels of film. It's very different from when I was a kid to now. Computing hasn't really changed in 25 years. You've got a hard drive, a monitor, and these clunky things that we carry around. So this is the next evolution. The same reason why one might say, well, what about my Polaroid? Hey, my Polaroid, how's a Polaroid gonna, this digital gonna cause me to see that differently? How is the camcorder better than a reel-to-reel heavy camera with film in it? How's that any different than what I'm currently using? This is the next evolution, iteration. Guarantee you in 10 years, this will be commonplace. Little kids will ask, well, how did you compute before you had a TinyStick-like device, right? Now, I was around one of my little cousins a few weeks ago, and they were asking me, well, what you guys used before you guys had streaming, audio, with music. And I said, well, we had cassette tapes. And I'm like, really? Cassette tape? How does that work? You only could fit like 10 songs on one tape. So it's just the next evolution in computing is what we're dealing with here.
Top 3 reasons I need and anyone needs a TinyStick.
One is for convenience, right? The convenience factor is always important of why you want to use it. Portability, right? It's very portable, and the cost. Last reason, it doesn't cost a whole lot of money. Here we are in New York. I spend more on a few martinis than I would on a TinyStick, right? So those things are probably the 3 most important reasons why one would need one of these devices.
And I'm thinking about our viewers, and I'm thinking about teens right now, and music and movies and games are really important. Can you just, again, talk through how it can really just be not just a cool gadget for them to have, but it can actually save them money and keep some money in their pocket?
Yeah, so, like we said before, in regards to, an Xbox costs somewhere around $300. It costs about $80 per game, right? Those are expensive items for anybody, for those who are adults or teens, right? So imagine that you've already got your phone, which is your gaming system, and imagine, foregoing that $300 charge because you already have your phone, and then spending $6 to free per game, right? A lot of games are free. So it's a huge cost savings for those young folks who don't have a lot of income. It definitely makes sense for those folks, definitely.
And just so that, you mentioned you described what it looks like. Can you just show them, at least what it looks like? It's something that just fits right in the palm of your hand. You can put it right in your pocket.
Yeah, so it's a really small device, again, about the size of a USB device. And again, it's pretty small, maybe the size of a lighter, right? And it just plugs into the HDMI port on the back of the monitor. And
for those that don't know what the HDMI port is, there's just two sort of USB-like ports that are on the side of your TV, and you just plug it right in.
Yeah, it plugs right in, and then you're off and running, right? You download our app, which actually allows you to talk to the Tiny Stick, and then from there, you're able to have this desktop-like functionality and then run all the games and apps that your phone can run.
And so you mentioned that we can go to your Indiegogo. Is there any other place that we could purchase a Tiny Stick?
Yeah, just go to tinystick.com for right now, and that's pretty much where you can purchase it. But soon, I can't talk too much about it, but pretty soon you'll be able to more than likely get it in your local retailer, more than likely where you buy your phone. You'll be able to buy these there, hopefully, in the next few months.
And I'm thinking about, when my friends show me pictures on their phone and everybody's sort of crowding around the phone to look at the picture. Yeah. This is a great way just to, even entertain your friends. You could plug in, you could do a photo display. It's like having a projector.
Absolutely. So this is perfect use case for that. Take a bunch of great pictures, and, when you launch Facebook, you upload them to Facebook, you want to show them to a group of friends, you're back at home having drinks, you can definitely use it for that. That's something that it works great for.
Well, our viewers aren't having drinks yet, unless they're drinking juice.
That's true. That is
or
true.
Water.
That's true.
But Eric, it was great to have you here. And if you could just close this out, tell us again where we can get the Tiny Stick, why we need it, and then we'll close out.
Absolutely. So you can pick up a Tiny Stick at www.tinystic.com. You can pick it up right now. Our crowdfunding campaign will be ending a week from today, next Wednesday. It's $99, and for $149 you get a wireless keyboard. And why, right? It's just the next phase of the evolution of computing, and it allows you to be mobile. It allows you to do all the things that you would normally need a desktop computer for. You don't now. You can do it with a Tiny Stick. So it's definitely to be a game changer, and for those folks out there who are looking for the next best thing, they've got it for just $99.
Thank you, Eric, for joining us.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us on our technology segment on All About Us, Teen Talk TV.
Thank you.